Russian troops established control over a raised observation position overlooking an active combat sector. From that elevated point, spotters methodically scanned the battlefield, tracking any movement near the front. Their goal was simple: detect, identify, and strike before Ukrainian forces could relocate. At the same time, just a short distance away, a small Ukrainian unit was preparing to disengage. The decision to withdraw had already been made. Soldiers moved quickly, collecting personal gear and attempting to recover stored ammunition before falling back to a safer defensive line. Unfortunately, their movement did not go unnoticed. Russian observers spotted the activity and relayed the coordinates to a nearby mortar team. Within moments, the crew adjusted their tubes and fired. The first round landed close, missing the Ukrainian vehicle itself, but detonating near an ammunition cache the soldiers had come to retrieve. The blast triggered secondary explosions, scattering debris and forcing the Ukrainians to take cover. One Ukrainian soldier was wounded in the blast. Despite landing a damaging hit, the Russians failed to eliminate the target completely. Recognizing this, the mortar crew immediately began reloading, intent on delivering a follow-up strike that would finish the job. But the Ukrainians were already adapting. While part of the unit handled the evacuation, soldiers still occupying a nearby trench realized the enemy's attention was focused elsewhere. Seizing the opportunity, they began identifying Russian firing positions for a counterattack. Ukrainian operators spotted something unexpected. Just beyond the firing position, the Russians had established a forward ammunition staging area. Mortar rounds, explosives, and anti-tank mines had been stacked together in an open field, likely under the assumption that it was safely out of reach. Confident in their position, the Russian crew continued firing. Unaware they were being watched from above. Meanwhile, Ukrainian FPV drone teams finalized their preparations. Without the real-time reconnaissance feed, the strike would have been impossible. Now, the opportunity was clear. An FPV drone was launched and guided toward the newly discovered ammunition depot. Using precise directions from the recon team, the operator lined up the attack. The drone struck directly into the stockpile. The explosion was devastating. Stored shells detonated instantly, anti-tank mines cooked off, and the vehicle used to transport the ammunition was destroyed. The blast sent shockwaves across the area, leaving no doubt about the effectiveness of the strike. As smoke cleared, it became obvious that the Russian crew had lost control of the situation. Midway through their attempted withdrawal, they realized the area was no longer secure. But the engagement was still unfolding. Russian forces have increasingly shifted away from large-scale armored assaults, instead relying on smaller, more flexible groups. Vehicles are often destroyed before reaching their objectives. But occasionally one manages to slip through. In this case, an armored vehicle advanced dangerously close to Ukrainian positions and opened suppressive fire. With trees and terrain blocking visibility, the crew fired blindly, hoping sheer volume would force the defenders to retreat. Ukrainian soldiers quickly assessed the danger. With limited time and no immediate fallback fortifications, they made a quiet and disciplined withdrawal, avoiding unnecessary exposure. Shortly afterward, the Russian crew ceased fire and began repositioning. Ukrainian forces safely exited the area and reported the enemy vehicle's presence to command.
Давай, пішли, майор. Быстрей.
A reconnaissance drone maintained constant visual contact, tracking the armored vehicle as it moved. Moments later, the crew pulled into a partially destroyed hangar along the roadside, using it as temporary shelter. Normally, such cover might have worked. This time, it didn't. Nearby, a Ukrainian brigade specializing in precision drone warfare had a fiber-optic-guided FPV drone ready for deployment. Unlike standard drones, this system relied on a physical cable rather than radio signals, providing an exceptionally clear video feed immune to jamming. The operator advanced slowly, carefully managing the cable to avoid damage. As the drone circled the vehicle, one critical detail stood out. The crew had left a hatch open. There was no better opportunity. The drone was guided straight through the opening. Moments later, reconnaissance confirmed the vehicle was completely destroyed. No follow-up strike was necessary. But events continued to escalate. Shortly after, another armored vehicle was spotted moving through a nearby village. The settlement had been almost entirely reduced to rubble, leaving few places to hide. Ukrainian FPV teams launched standard drones to intercept before the vehicle could find cover. The operator adjusted course based on the vehicle's direction of travel and closed in quickly. The first strike disabled the vehicle, bringing it to a halt. However, the threat was not. Flames quickly spread into the ammunition compartment, triggering a final explosion that ensured total destruction. Russian forces continue to rely heavily on multiple launch rocket systems, using them extensively across the battlefield. These systems remain a major threat, but years of fighting have significantly reduced their numbers. Each launcher destroyed represents a meaningful tactical victory. Because of their value, Russian units take great care to protect them. Still, once Ukrainian intelligence identifies a launcher, response is immediate. In one instance, a launcher had already fired and was withdrawing when a Ukrainian FPV drone intercepted it mid-movement. MLRS vehicles offer little protection against direct hits. A single drone was enough. The explosion was massive, eliminating the launcher completely. FPV teams operate under extreme time pressure. Once a target is confirmed, there is little room for hesitation. Only a limited number of these systems are destroyed each month, making each success critical, especially when the launcher is fully loaded. Nearby, another newly deployed MLRS was detected before it could even begin firing. This time, the strike came first. The drone hit moments before launch, turning a small ignition into a violent explosion. The system was destroyed without firing a single rocket. Elsewhere, a Russian BM-21 Grad moved into position. As the crew loaded 122mm rockets, a reconnaissance drone searched for Ukrainian targets. Coordinates were transmitted, confirmed, and the launcher opened fire. After the strike, the Grad attempted to withdraw. Ukrainian forces reacted quickly. A Mavic drone located the launcher within minutes. The firing position had been used before, making detection straightforward. Attempts to hide among trees failed. Coordinates were sent to a Ukrainian HIMARS unit. The missile strike was precise. Rockets detonated, secondary explosions erupted, and the launcher was reduced to burning wreckage within moments. In another sector, a Russian Buk air defense system detected a Ukrainian drone operating deep behind enemy lines. A missile was launched and narrowly missed, but the launch revealed the system's position. Ukrainian forces responded immediately. The first strike damaged the system but did not destroy it. A second missile followed, detonating the ammunition. The explosion was massive. The air defense system was completely eliminated. In another sector of the front, the footage cuts to a close-range engagement in the Lyman direction. A small group of Russian soldiers moves cautiously through the terrain, unaware they are already being tracked. Ukrainian Special Operations Forces from the Whiskey Squad execute a well-timed ambush, striking with speed and precision. The engagement is brief and decisive, leaving no opportunity for the enemy to react before the team disappears back into cover. Moments later, the video shows a direct and reckless attack across an open field. Two vehicles accelerate straight toward Ukrainian lines in what can only be described as a desperate charge. Russian troops attempt to overwhelm positions held by the 110th Mechanized Brigade. But the lack of cover leaves them completely exposed. The advance collapses almost as quickly as it begins. The final sequence resembles a hunt in open terrain. 4 Russian infantrymen scatter across a wide, uncovered area, attempting to outrun approaching FPV drones. There is nowhere to hide. Ukrainian pilots from the 414th Magyars unit track their movements calmly and methodically, closing the distance until escape is no longer possible. One by one, the targets are caught in the open, bringing the sequence to a decisive end.